Section 5.5 is talking about multiplying fractions. And to multiply fractions, it's actually a very easy task. And all we're going to do is we're going to multiply the numerator by the numerator and the denominator by the denominator. If you don't know what those are, very simply, it is just we're going to multiply the top times the top and the bottom times the bottom. So when we're multiplying 1/4 times 1/5, 1 times 1 is just 1, and 4 times 5 is 20, and we keep the top on the top and the bottom on the bottom, and that's all we have. The last part of the directions here says write in simplest form. That means reduce your fraction if possible. In this case, it is already reduced in as far as it can go. So we are already done that problem. Moving on. It says multiply 3 times 2/5, and then write your answer in simplest form. Any number is a fraction. Any whole number is a fraction. We can write any whole number as 4 divided by 1. That is a fraction and is equal to 4. In math, we don't write divided by 1 because it doesn't change the value of it at all. So this number 3 is actually a fraction, 3 over 1, and we're going to multiply it by 2/5, and we're going to do it in the same method. We're going to multiply the top times the top, which 3 times 2 is 6, and the bottom times the bottom, 1 times 5 is 5. Our answer is 6/5. If they wanted us to write it as a mixed number, we could write it, we know that this is over 1, and we know that there's 5 of these 5 parts in 6, so we know that there's at least 1 in there, and what's left over if we take 5 out of 5 of these guys away is 1/5, 1 and 1/5. We've simplified fractions before and written in mixed numbers before. Okay, example 3 is multiplying 3/4 times 2/7. And I'm going to show you a shortcut real quick. We can still do it the same way. I'm going to do it the same way we have been doing it, and then I'm going to show you a shortcut, and you can decide what method you want to use. But I'm going to multiply the top times the top, which is 3 times 2 is 6, and the bottom times the bottom is 4 times 7, which is 28. The problem with this is now we are going to have to simplify because it says write in simplest form. Well, I know I can take a 2 out of both the top and the bottom, and this would be 3 over 14. Let me show you a shortcut, though, that might make multiplying fractions a little bit faster for you. 3/4 times 2/7. If I look diagonally, I can look diagonal and cross things out. If I look diagonally, I notice that I can take a 2 out of both of these terms. I can take a 2 out of this one. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 2 divided by 4 is 2. And if I look diagonally this way, there's nothing I can take out of 7 and 3. So I can't take anything out. So now that I've simplified it now, when I multiply, it's already going to be in simplest form. So 3 times 1 is 3, 2 times 7 is 14. And that obviously turns out to be the same answer that it was before. So it doesn't matter which order you do it. I'm just trying to give you a shortcut to make it a little bit faster on yourself. Example 4, now we're going to throw a mixed number in there, and we are going to multiply these fractions. When we multiply with a mixed number, the first thing we need to do is we need to do what's called the wheel method to change this fraction or this number right here into an improper fraction, which means we don't want a whole number attached with it. Okay, so we're going to do what's called the wheel method. The wheel method you've had before, but just to refresh your memory, we are going to the wheel method. We're going to go in a circle this way, and we're going to multiply 2 times 5, and then we are going to add that number that we get. So 2 times 5 is 10, and then we're going to add this number here, so plus 2. So what we come up with, 2 and 2/5 is the same thing as 12 over 5. And we keep our denominator the same. So 12/5, that could be written as a mixed number as 2 and 2/5. Now we can go ahead and multiply. So 1/3 times 12/5. Again, I'm going to go ahead and do the shortcut here. I'm going to look diagonal and cancel something out. I see that I can cancel a 3 out of both of these terms, and that's going to make my simplifying easier. So 1 times 4 is 4, and 1 times 5 is 5, so our answer is 4/5. And the last example I have for you is a story problem, which isn't too bad. It says the Green family is downsizing to a new house. Their new house is 3/5 the size of their old house. Find the size of their new house given that their old house measured 3,500 square feet. Okay, So their new house is 3/5 of the old house. And if you didn't remember, a lot of times in math, anytime we see the of word here, if we see of, this means multiply. Okay, so they're saying that it's 3/5 of the size of their old house, and their old house is 3,500 square feet. So we're writing it 3/5 of. Of means multiply in math 3,500. And again, 3,500 is a fraction, 3,500 over 1. And in order to multiply these, we do it the same that we've been doing it all lesson here. We're going to look diagonal and cancel out. So I'm going to look diagonal, and I know that I can take a 5 out of this because it ends in a 0. So I know that 5 goes into 3,500 700 times. How did I know that? I went 3,500 divided by 5 to figure out how many times it went in. Like that. Okay? That's what I did. I actually cheated and used a calculator, or you can use mental math to simplify that. And now all we have to do is we just have to multiply straight across. That became a 1, by the way. So multiply now straight across. 3 times 700. 3 times 7 is 21. Add 2 zeros, so 2,100. And 1 times 1 is 1. So their house is 2,100 square feet, their new house. Okay. I hope this helps. We'll see you in class.